This is my 2023 Nissan Y62 Patrol, and I don't blame you for not being able to see what colour it is, because we have just spent 2 weeks and nearly 6,000 kilometres heading through the deserts of Australia. Well, some of them anyway. So we literally just prepared this vehicle, got it ready. The day before we departed, we chucked all our shit in the car and off we took. We travelled with 4 other cars, including my team members, my family. We started in Sydney, went to Birdsville and did the deserts, and then came down south, came back up through Strzelecki, and this is the state of my vehicle. It's actually Hermosa Blue and FXH Bronze, but you wouldn't be able to bloody tell. Maybe Pancho can see something different from the camera, but I'll tell you, it's bloody filthy. So am I. Pancho's going to put some glorious pictures in there to show you what it actually really looks like when it's clean. So, starting at the rear, because this is where we are. Pancho. Oh. Isn't there there's a fabulous song about combine harvester? That's beautiful. I tell you what, there's something that tickles my tickly bits about road trains. And if you have a look over on the hill over there, look at that absolute beauty. What a fabulous machine. Brand spanking new trailers. Anyway, we're getting sidetracked. So starting at the rear of the vehicle, we have a Raslarr rear bar. For my vehicle, I've actually chosen water carriers on the back. This is drinking water. This is a shower that I haven't used because I just haven't. I have showered, but not with this. So this has been washing water, this has been drinking water, and on the back of this we have Rob sent me a new table, which is bloody fabulous. So when you pull up for a stop or whatever, it's really simple to pull this out, and I cook on this. I clean stuff on it, like morning medications. This is what I use. I use it all the time. It's bloody fabulous. It does get a bit bloody sticky after it's got the dust in it, but whatever. I just blow it out with the compressed air and it's fine. This is the jerry-rigged soap dispenser that Pancho connected to the back there. Rob, I think you should factor that in to your next design. Little carrier thing there, so that, because it's fabulous, and we use it. We've almost used it all in about a week, right? So that's the left-hand carrier. Camera relocation here. You can see all this beautiful wiring that Luigi did. So that all goes down there. So it's camera relocation, number plate light, all that kind of stuff goes in there. This is actually, you can't see it, right? Because it's bloody filthy. But the rear bar is actually FXH bronze, right? So that's the interesting thing about this vehicle. Depending on the light, it can look really blue, it can look black, and sometimes when it's clean it looks Hermosa Blue. Tyre carrier on the right hand side. The bar comes with the recovery points, super easy to latch. And on the back of the spare tyre we have Daci dirty gear bags. This has been such a source of pain for everybody involved. And we've got 3 of these bags, and they're really well made, and there's got heaps of storage, but the zippers are shit. And they're shit because they get dust in them. Like, you can't open the bloody thing. I think it's just dust, right? And I reckon if I was to get my air blower in there and blow it all out, you know, it'd probably be fine. They're bloody good, and they're really handy. I keep all my dirty linen in here, or dirty clothes and stuff like that. Danny has rubbish, and I think Ben has a small child in his. So the other thing that is really, really challenging about this is the straps. Now we've had to, I don't know if I've done this right, probably haven't, but we've had to faff around trying different setups to stop the bag from sagging. Now, at one point, it had come all the way down and was hanging right down, and those things were close to the road, right? So, please, Darchie, if we've done something wrong, please let us know so that we can share it with other people. I really care about the result. Wheels and tyres. This has the 4.2 tonne GVM upgrade with TSA. It has lower rear control arms, upper front control arms with axle load increase. It's really, really important that if you're going to fit all the front stuff on the front, that you get a front axle load. Let's go up there. I'll talk about that in a second. I've got 400 kilo rear springs. I've got the 5172 airbag mount airbags in there. They're a longer bag. The 5120s don't work in a lifted patrol. They're too short. So we've got the right springs in there for the load. At the moment, I'm running about 30 PSI in the bags. They don't need to be that much, but I wanted better on-road. I wanted better on-road handling, especially at higher speed. So underneath there too, Brown Davis long range fuel tank, engineered, because if you put a long range fuel tank in a vehicle in New South Wales, it needs to be engineered. Don't listen to the bloody salespeople that are sitting on the other side of the counter who are going to tell you that it's already been engineered and that you don't need it. It may have been engineered, but once it's in the vehicle, it needs an engineer's report for that specific application. So don't listen to the salespeople. In this vehicle, I have 280 litres of fuel capacity. The most I've ever got in there is 260 litres. So I was on fumes when I filled that up. I'm getting roughly 22 litres per 100. It's been as much as 29 litres per 100 going through the desert. Simpson Desert, I use 208 litres. So that's a bloody fair bit of fuel. Wheels and tyres, FXH XO2 in bronze. Not that you can bloody tell because the car's filthy, because we've literally just come out of the desert. And I actually went to get a Dare Ice coffee from the servo this morning. She's like, oh, where have you been? I was like, oh, Simpson Desert. She's like, what are you doing? I'm like, going to take a photo. And she's like, there's a car wash down the road. I was like, well, I don't want a bloody car wash. I want people to see that we actually use our stuff. We'll insert some stuff in there, some clips in there so you can see. You know, so it looks beautiful. You'll be able to see. Goodyear, Boulder, mud terrain tyres, 295, 7018. This vehicle has been complied because it's pre-rego with 35-inch tyres. The wheels appropriately load rated for the application. Slimline flares, and I tell you what, I'm bloody glad that I had them because we got just enough tyre coverage so that I didn't just smash my paint. So when you actually look past here, you can actually see exactly where the mud flick is off the front tyres. So you can see all the mud flick down here. You can see some from here, but when you see the sort of mud that we were dealing with out in the bloody desert, so this here has been underneath my car for about 2,000 k's. Right? That shit is like the stickiest crap that you've ever come across, right? So I reckon I've got about 50 kilos of mud up under in my wheel arch guards. Look at it. Fucking hell. It's like concrete. Flares, they're bloody important, right? Your flares are important. Protection, legality. Keep the tyres in the fenders and protect your paintwork. So we decided to do a ceramic coating with Jason and Zach at Deluxe Detailing in Brookvale, and I'm glad we did. but there's some stuff that we've missed. And the reason why is because we changed the sticker. We changed to this small QR code from this big QR code, right? So we had this thing here. It was actually a mistake with the wrap guys. The scale and the position was wrong, so we told them no. And you can see here now, this is the surface that has not been ceramic coated, and that's the surface that has been ceramic coated. So I think it's a fabulous, fabulous outcome. This is still going to be a shit to wash, no doubt, right? But it's going to be easier to wash that section than it is that, right? And I don't know if there's going to be any damage here because there's been mud and shit and dirt and dust. And my idea of adventure touring is not what we've been doing over the last 2 weeks and nearly 6,000 Ks. I would prefer to go and find a location and park my big ass in my fancy camp chair and watch the kids run around and go crazy. So I chose wedge-tail roof racks because of their ability to flush mount a solar panel on the vehicle. The other reason is, well, there's a few bloody reasons, but their accessories are fabulous. They've got a kit for just about anything you can bloody think of. But the primary reason was the solar. Like, I know that I can park my ass in that chair and I've got 140 watts of solar in the roof, and it's gonna last me, right? I don't even have to think about it. Aside from that, and we'll go through it in a second, the power system in here is substantial, and I've got some really, really great numbers for you in a sec. The only downside I would say for the wedge-tail roof rack is the weight. It is actually significantly heavier. We didn't do Watch It Weighs Wednesdays on this. I wish we did, because I'd have some data for you, but this rack is heavier than other type. It's heavier than the Tracklander mesh rack that we often talk about in our content. It still serves the purpose for me, and that's really what's important. I don't have a lot of space for extra stuff up there, but it's got what I need, and we've even got space for a Starlink mount that we're actually working on, and so that you can bolt your Starlink up there and run one cable now into the vehicle, and we've got facilities for that.
Look at the beauty behind you.
Oh. Were they here for the obligatory Cobar sign shot? Yeah. Okay, so 23.0, 270-degree awning. Panto's going to insert some shots there. It's the only awning that we've been able to make work on these vehicles with the tailgate, because of the spoiler particularly, and how tall the tailgate is. It's the only 270 awning that we've been able to make work efficiently. Ultravision lighting, 40-inch light bar on the roof. I want to be totally honest, we made a mistake. We fucked something up, and it's non-functional. I need to be honest, right? So we haven't been able to test it, but we're going to. The interesting thing is that I actually haven't found myself wanting more lighting because of the lights up the front here. 180 Nitro Max, they're the best that you can buy from Ultravision, and they've been exceptional, right? We've actually seen them on road trains, and Panto's going to insert a clip from a road train we saw in Wilcannia yesterday. And if the pros are using them, that truck, Panto, 3 million miles, 3 million kilometers on that truck. If the pros are using them, the truckies, they're good stuff. Frontal protection system. We have seen, on this trip, we've seen kangaroos, we've seen emus, we've seen sheep, we've seen cattle, we've seen goats, dingoes, rabbits, lizards, just about anything you can think of. And we've had some really close calls with the fauna. And I'm really glad that I chose this full loop bar. There's a fabulous color scheme, which you can't bloody see because the car's filthy. But Pancho's going to insert some clips here of what it looks like when it's clean. Raslarr 3-loop bar. I'm absolutely stoked with it. Still get a bit of movement in the corrugations, which is totally normal. You want the bar to move separately from the chassis, because otherwise from the body, sorry, it's going to crack apart if it doesn't move. Right? If it's too solid, it's going to break. So Cell-Fi Go antenna for mobile communications. Uniden 6 dB antenna, and at some point I've estimated that there's been 12 kilometers between me and Ben at the back. Tail and Charlie was Ben most of the trip. There's at least 10-12 kilometers, and we've had really good perceptible communications through the whole time, right? So UHF important, really important for me in the communication. Carbon 15,000 pound tank winch. I haven't used it yet, but I'm glad I had it, because we found some pretty challenging terrain out in the bush, but the vehicle, there was nothing that stopped this vehicle. So carbon, we wish we could have got some great content for it, but we didn't. We did actually manage to use some of your other gear, towing the Jimny into Mount Dare. Danny ran out 11 Ks before Mount Dare, and Luigi, because he got himself stuck in the desert. Underneath, we have complemented the Raslarr bar with Raslarr underguards that are not all on there at the moment, because we had to take some off, because I found a way to break my exhaust, and it sounds horrendous. Like, I'm almost embarrassed. If I gave a shit about what people think about me, I would be embarrassed. There's actually a problem with the exhaust, and we haven't quite dialed it in yet. We'll do a separate video on that, but it's actually cracked the header pipe down near where it connects to the aftermarket. I've got a redback exhaust on this vehicle. I'm not sure if it's related to redback. We don't know yet. All we know is that we had a rubber failure, a hanger failure, rubber mount failure, which caused the fatigue in the header. So we'll do some more examination on that, and we'll circle back and let you know what we've actually found, or if we need to make any improvements. Safari snorkel. I intentionally did not check my air filter the whole trip for a couple of reasons. One of them is that I was lead vehicle. We didn't have too much oncoming traffic. I know there's going to be bugs in there, and I know there's going to be dust in there. We have checked, however, the difference between a Isuzu MUX and Isuzu D-Max. The MUX had no snorkel, and the D-Max had a Safari snorkel. And I can tell you that the MUX with the Safari snorkel had way less dust. Sorry, the D-Max. The D-Max with the Safari snorkel had way less dust in there than the MUX did. And I'm sure that's because it's sucking the air from up there and not from underneath the fender down here. Because the dust in the desert was chronic. Bull dust, white dust, red dust, all sorts of dust. Absolutely feral. We have done clear view mirrors. They're part of the compliance thing. Cat 6 indicators right there. While we were doing that, before we even started the build, we sent it to Rabin and the team at Northern Beach Smash Repairs for a total chrome delete Don't know if you picked that up on the footage yet. It's filthy, and I don't expect you to be able to see much, but it's there.
You will see the chrome. If you touch chrome.
You would see it. You totally would, yeah. It's also had a wood grain delete internal. We'll show you that in a bit. We'll head back to camp and get that detail. What else? Area lighting. Courtesy of Ultravision. They're pretty awesome. Still haven't found a way to get good lighting on the side. We just haven't got it dialed in yet. Not we haven't found it, but the lighting on the side with the awning there, it's a bit muffled. So we're gonna make some changes there and figure some shit out. Other than that, this car has been amazing. There's nothing that I've thrown this vehicle into that has made me question its reliability or its robustness or its capabilities. And even Pancho has been quite amazed by how capable this vehicle is. Right? It's true, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm saying yes with the camera.
Oh, right. Sure, that's what you're doing. Yeah.
Pretty surprising.
Yep.
We'll check the interior in the campsite.
Yep. So we'll go back to campsite now. I've got the fire going. I expect that everyone's probably still asleep, but we've got to go pack up because this is the last day of our desert trip of 2024. We'll go and check the interior. We'll do all that stuff, all the drawers and electrical and all that stuff. We'll go do back at camp. So we'll see you there.
Cool transition. 3, 2,
What?
1.
Well, the sun's out in full force, so I've had to lose my bush shirt. But let's jump into the storage area in the back of my vehicle. Now, we've worked really closely with RV Storage Solutions to build this system. And it took a fair bit of bloody doing. We started in June and it's now October, so it took a bit to get it right. So what we've actually done is we've actually custom made these drawers, and now these are available only to us. They're not available through normal channels. And there's a few major differences with this system to the normal RV storage. Those little birds, they've been hanging around all morning. They've been talking to us and drinking the water and eating what scraps we dropped. Apparently they're called apostle birds, and there's a family of them. So they're
Upholstery birds.
Apostle.
I'm gonna call them upholstery.
Okay, apostrophe birds. Okay, so with the Evercool fridge drawer, that's 40 litres. So you can see there's a fair bit of space in there. We're actually really low on supplies because we've been out in the bush for a couple of weeks, and this is all the pre-packed food we talked about last night in our reels. So that's all pre-packed, vacuum packed. Yep. So one of the challenges with the standard RV fridge drawer combo in the Patrol is that it's really narrow. It's only about 350 mils wide. So what we've actually done is we've worked with RV to be able to make the drawer 120 mil wider. So what the net result of that is that we've got heaps more internal space. Now this is only about half full, I would say, but I've got everything in here. You know, I've got foodstuffs, heaps of honey, coffee stuff, you know, burners, jet boil, my coffee machine, plus spares. I've got tools under the back here, which I'm a bit short on. I need to do some work there. But that's where all of my stuff goes. I've even got a beautiful big bloody chopping board that Mum bought me. What's his name? Cranky Timber Company, or Chonky, I don't know, some of that. Beautiful bloody board that Mum bought me. So and then the other major difference is that we're able to work with Hayden to provide a pantry, because while the other drawer was narrower, it was a lot taller. It was like 375 mil tall. So we've sacrificed some of the depth for a pantry. And the reason why we've done that is so that we can fit all of our all of our cooking equipment in here, effectively. So induction cooktop, that's Westinghouse, the ones that we use. We've got here, let me show you this. This is really cool. Cedar Summit, stackable. This is actually a 3-litre pot, so it stacks out. Same with all of the equipment. It's stackable. So I've got all of my cooking equipment in here, and that's enough. That's enough for 4 people. So one pantry drawer, all of our cooking stuff, and it all locks together. And yep. So that locks, and if you want to use it as a pot, you just put it that way, right? But it locks. So if you wanted to put this in a backpack or whatever, it stays all together. So I got all of my Cedar Summit knife, fork, spoon sets. What's cool about this is that it's actually, that's not metal. That was not a great example. It's magnetic. And these little silicon things actually keep everything together. So that's really cool. So stackable cups. Everything is stackable. And it absolutely saves so much space. So I got induction, 4 cups, 2 tea towels, 4 knife, fork, spoon sets, 2 ultralight, razor sharp Cedar Summit. That's a chef's knife. And I've got a paring knife. I've got plastic stuff for the kids. I've got a saucepan, 4 bowls, 4 plates, a couple of espresso mugs. That's from Mount Dare Hotel. Thanks, Woodsy. Super helpful, great guy. So yeah, so we've been able to, and this is a prep surface, but I need to make some changes. What I found was that when I want to cook on this, you've got to have everything out. Everything you're possibly going to need. That's a bit of a pain in the ass. So what we're going to do is, with Hayden and Tash, we're going to make a smaller table so I can put the induction on there and then still have that open. So they don't know about it yet. They will soon when we communicate with them. Yeah, so that needs to make a change. I also want to put a lid on this as well. At least a sliding top, so I can actually take stuff, put it up there, whatever, right? So absolutely, this has been a great addition to the project. I don't know how well you're going to see this. Can you see this, Pancho? Okay, right. So let's just close it. See if we can get it into the. Let me just see if I can shade it. Can you see that? It's not on. Just there. There you go. Right. So this is all our switching. Right. Let me take my glasses off. So you can see here. So power socket. They're these outlets here. So I've got 2 there, and I've got 2 on the other side. Fridge is on, inverter's on, auxiliary power outlet. That's water pump. That's air compressor. Left-hand side lights, right-hand side lights. They're on the roof rack. You can't see them. And I've got this what you call step lights, which is in the back here. That's also hooked up to the light bar in the raised top shelf. We'll get into that in 2 seconds. Let's turn all this off. And if you want to just switch everything off, you can just do that. That's going to mess with people's internet. So inverter's on because running Starlink, and fridge needs to be on all the time. And then we go to the home button, and we can actually see how much power's left. We were using the induction for, I don't know, probably 40 minutes last night or so. Yeah. So inverter's been running pretty much 24/7, over the last 2 weeks. So I can run this. I can run this for hours and hours and hours. Let me just put this. Let me put this away, and so I can then show you. We've got a water pump here, so on the panel here. Sorry, going back in there. Pump is the water pump. that's powered by the front runner. That's a 40 litre front runner water container. We've got a water pump down the side there, and then we actually just have a bidet spray, which, oh, sorry mate. Yep. So if I want to wash my bum, I can do it. Can do it with that. Well, it's actually a bidet spray, but we use it for, you know, washing feet and plates and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. Just turn that off, and then what I normally do is I normally go back to the charge screen, because my guts have actually turned everything off before. Because when you pull the drawer out, right, I pull the drawer out and I go, oh, I want that, and I go in there and I actually, yeah. So there's some improvements that Kangoe need to make with this panel. Definitely needs Bluetooth control systems, so you can leave all your lights on and inverter and whatever else, and then go to bed and then switch everything off. That was definitely one major improvement that's needed. And the other improvement that's needed in the PCU, power control unit, because everything's data here. This doesn't have lots of wires going to it. It has one Ethernet cable which actually runs in this cable chain. So when we retract the drawers, you can actually see that the cable guide actually tracks back in, and that's what enables us to have everything on there. So one data cable going from the PCU to here. PCUs are limited to 10 amps per circuit. They need to be more. They need to be 15 or 20, because we actually the unit that we have, I think it's called a Gale unit, and that's designed to inflate the Dometic swags. We couldn't even run it off this, because even though it was rated for 10 amps, it was tripping out the PCU, so it wouldn't run. It would. Pancho just swallowed a fly. Is that your first? Was that the first one?
No, the second one.
That's the second. Yeah. Welcome to Australia, mate. Yep. So effectively, yep. So getting back on track, 40 litre front runner water pump out the front there. It's also got a gravity feed. We've got front runner boxes. We've got 2 standard boxes. That is Pancho's camera equipment, which is all foam lined and it's got everything in there. And then we've got clothes and clothes. So that was enough clothes in the high lid front runner box for Charlie and I for 2 weeks. So change of clothes every other day. So that was, if you need to be minimalist, put everything in hard boxes, compress it, you know, make it as small as you can. And somehow I ended up with more clothes from Cooper. If I didn't have that, I would put more tools and recovery gear in that space. And then I've got a heap of space here. In the future, what I'm going to do, because the Dometic swags don't have a waterproof bag, which is stupid, and the bag they do have is rubbish and it's not going to last. The handles are already tearing off it. It's a shit bag. So putting both of those swags in a waterproof, dustproof bag on the roof or a box will free up all this space for me, and then I can, leaves plenty of room for other activities. Right? Top shelf is raised. Now they sent this to me. They saw what we were doing. They've seen what we're doing, and they sent it to us. Right? It's not a sponsorship thing. They just wanted us to try it, and I'm really stoked with it actually. So up the top there, I have my sand flag that runs lengthways. I have two chairs, which are one's a Helinox that we get from Cedar Summit, and the other is a Kilos gear. So on the right, Kilos gear and Cedar Summit. I have one front runner collapsible chair. I can fit 2 up there, which is great. So that puts all the chairs out the way, and I have a laptop bag there. Normally I wouldn't have the laptop bag, but because we're here, I was actually Starlink We actually put the Starlink in there. So, if I didn't have that, and when we get a Starlink mount on the roof, I will have heaps more space up there to put other stuff. So, 240 volt outlets down here on the side. That was one of the compromises when we made this drawer wider. We had to make the panels narrower, but it still means that we can get two 240 volt outlets here, and powered from a 2000 watt inverter. It'll do coffee machines, induction, tiramisu whisks, electric whisk. It's great. Check our stories. In fact, check out our highlights reel on story highlights reel on our Instagram. Okay, in our Instagram profile, there's a highlights stories thing.
The one that says Simpsons.
The one that says Simpson, right? Every story we did from The Simpsons in there. What else? Huh?
The phone is warming up.
What I was going to do was flip the seat forward and show you where I've got the air compressor and where I've got the inverter, but I can't. So Pancho's going to insert some footage of the underfloor, the batteries yes, I'm going to stitch you up. Our battery bracket that we've developed for under the floor, so we can fit two slimline 110 amp hour batteries under the floor. Our PCU, everything else goes under the floor. So we'll show you that in some other content. And I think we're finished. Yeah. If you see anything you like, put it in the comments below. If you see something you don't like, put it in the comments below. I'm open to feedback. We'll debrief all our learnings about this trip and what we did right, what we didn't do right. If you think I'm full of shit, comment below, because that's cool. I like conversation.
Check the playlist for the trip.
Check the playlist for the trip, whatever that means. Pancho told me to say it.
YouTube playlist with all the videos.
I beg your pardon. YouTube playlist. It's got all the content in there from The Simpsons. See you later. Fuck, you're difficult.